Of your headlines this morning, starting in the Middle East, where Iran fired a new wave of missile attacks on Israel earlier this morning, triggering air raid sirens across the country. Emergency services reported at least 5 killed and dozens more hurt in the fourth day of fighting. Iran announced it had launched 100 missiles and vowed further retaliation for Israel's sweeping attacks on its military and nuclear infrastructure, which have killed at least 224 people in the country since last Friday. That conflict between Israel and Iran could soon impact prices at the gas pump here in the U.S. We're talking as much as 30 additional cents per gallon. To put that in context for your next summer road trip, let's say you're going from Detroit to Mackinac City. That's 289 miles. If you fill up the tank today, the average price is $3.08. So for that would be $44.50. This is all based on 20 miles per gallon, by the way. If the prices go up 30% to $3.38, 30 cents to $3.38 per gallon, that's going to cost nearly $49 to fill up your tank. So again, not a massive jump, but just something to consider if you have any summer road trip plans. Let's go to Minnesota now, where a man suspected of shooting 2 lawmakers and their spouses is expected to be in court this afternoon. Police arrested Vance Bolter last night following a weekend manhunt. Democratic House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, were shot and killed in their home on Saturday morning. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also hurt in a separate attack. Police say a hit list with nearly 70 names was found in the suspect's car. He is going to be facing a judge later on this afternoon. In less than an hour, the CEO of the Oxford Center in Troy, where a hyperbaric chamber explosion killed a 5-year-old, she's headed back to court. Tamala Peterson is out on a $2 million bond right now. Today's hearing is about the evidence in this case, mainly deciding what evidence can and cannot be shown or talked about in court. Peterson is one of 4 people charged in connection to the death of 5-year-old Thomas Cooper, who was getting treatment at the Oxford Center in Troy. The chamber he was inside exploded last January, killing him and hurting his mother. Again, today's hearing is about the evidence allowed in court. That starts in about 57 minutes at 9 a.m. Let's talk about some crashes on our major freeways. Our investigative team has exposed the top crash spots on I-75, 94, and now as tens of thousands of drivers are heading out to start their day, we're going to talk about another major freeway in Metro Detroit. This time we're talking about I-96 and what the team has uncovered. Karen Drew is live all morning long talking about the freeway that, of course, runs through Wayne and Oakland counties. She has been digging into data that spans back almost 5 years and all the crash spots. Karen, you've been driving the roads so far this morning. It's been interesting to see the numbers revealed as you go, and the numbers keep getting worse and worse the closer we get.
You know, it is really troubling because, we drive these roads every morning. We have our routines, whether it's going to school, work, or running errands, and we think we know our areas. But unfortunately, I think people approach a lot of these zones in these areas as they know, and so they actually pay less attention. I mean, all studies have shown that in terms of where you drive most frequently is obviously most likely where you're going to crash. But we did want to zone in, Nick, on where specifically you're going to crash. So we did. We went through all that data. We went through police reports and crash scenes and did all the work for you, came up with those 4 spots. We're going to reveal them one by one. So let's start with the 4th spot right now. You're most likely to crash on I-96.
This is it. This is the spot. Okay, if you drive through here, you won't be surprised. This is the 4th highest spot for crashes on I-96, mile marker 181 to 183. It's between the start of the I-96 Express local split up and the Southfield Freeway interchange. We broke down data from 2019 through 2023, and during that time, 672 crashes have happened here. Crunched the numbers a bit, and that's nearly a crash on this 2-mile stretch every 3 days.
Why is that section so hard and so challenging?
Number 1 is we've just separated into local and express. The express stays to the left. They get to go faster.
And you know what, Nick, that is really where the confusion comes in terms of, waiting to the last minute. I will admit, I got into a close call about 2 weeks ago coming from the airport right on that stretch because I was coming back and I knew what I was doing, but somebody else wasn't, and they were trying to get over. And we're finding that that's a reoccurring theme in a lot of these zones where people are waiting to the last minute. to make that veer. Some of the information we gathered too, just when we were digging through, was pretty interesting to see, the types of crashes. Side swipes, very common. Some rear ending, and the days of the week too. Obviously, a work day is obviously more likely than a weekend. Do you struggle sometimes when you're on this I-96 stretch?
Yeah, it's not hard, honestly, Karen, to get into a crash, which sounds awful, but it's a pretty easy thing to do. So thank you so much for your time there. We're going to look again. That was the fourth one. She's going to count down to the number one spot on I-96 throughout the morning show here on Local 4 Plus. The investigative team has been digging into all of these numbers and the crash data. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen. That's going to take you to clickondetroit.com, where you can get the breakdowns of the types of crashes, as Karen was just talking about, the worst times of day and the days with the most crashes.